Recently, I've been hearing more and more questions from students about IELTS Writing Task 1. Do you struggle with Task 1? Writing Task 1 on IELTS is a difficult writing assignment for many students. In this video today, we're going to look at a process example. We will examine a sample of Task 1, and you can use this to get some good ideas for better success with IELTS Writing Task 1. By the way, before we jump in, have you subscribed to this channel? There are many good resources for improving your English and succeeding on IELTS here, and I would love it if you would subscribe. All you need to do is hit that notification bell, and you will get notified whenever I create new videos. I really hope they will help. I want to see you succeed and reach your dreams. So let's go ahead and jump in and look at today's Writing Task 1 for IELTS, an example. So let's go ahead and take a look at a process example for IELTS Writing Task 1. Before we look at an example for process writing, however, let's look at general principles for writing Task 1. When you have a Task 1 writing essay to do, you will see a graph, a chart, maybe it's a diagram or some table. You want to look at that information and figure out what it's about. Look for high points and low points. Look for places that are different or similar, and look for the patterns, because you need to identify the key features for this visual. Then you want to choose the most relevant and significant key features. In most cases, 2 is enough, and you can make a short essay about the key features with 2 of them. Now today we're going to look at a specific example of how to write for a process. So when you write the process for a Task 1 essay, you will paraphrase the prompt and write an overview of the key features of the process. Then you just need to describe the process. Let's see what we have here with this example. This example shows a process, and it says in the instructions, the diagram illustrates the process that is used to produce energy in a geothermal power plant. Summarize the information by selecting and reporting the main features and make comparisons where relevant. Now, before you start writing, remember some things to be careful about. This Task 1 is a report. It's a description. It's you explaining what you see. It is not an essay that explains your opinion. In fact, don't think of it as an essay. You don't need a conclusion for Task 1. You simply want to report what the information says. You will need to write 150 words, and you should finish this in about 20 minutes, because the writing Task 1 and Task 2 together only has 1 hour. So plan 20 minutes for Task 1 and 40 minutes for Task 2. So let's look at a sample response to this. The process of how energy is produced in a geothermal power plant can be understood from the steps shown in the diagram. The process begins with cold water being pumped down into the geothermal layer, where it is heated by hot rocks, and finishes with steam powering turbines which produce electricity for consumption. The first step of the process requires the injection of cold water into the geothermal layer of the Earth. The geothermal layer deep inside the Earth contains hot rocks. When the cold water goes through the hot rocks in this geothermal layer, it is heated to high temperatures. The hot water is pumped back to the surface of the Earth to the facility and into the condensers that send steam into a turbine. This turbine then turns the motor of a generator and results in the production of electricity. After this generator produces electricity, it is finally sent into the distribution system. Can you identify the parts of this Task 1 writing? Do you see where this first sentence here is paraphrasing the prompt? The process of how energy is produced in a geothermal power plant can be understood from the steps shown in the diagram. This is a paraphrase in different words, in my own words, of what is said. Do you see here? This is an overview of the key features for this process. I basically tell the big picture of what is shown in the diagram. And then the second paragraph gives more detail. And I want you to pay attention to how, because this is a process, there are words that indicate the beginning to the end of the process. In the beginning it says the first step. That tells me it's the beginning. Later in the writing you see words such as when. Then you see words such as pumped back to, so that's returning. This turbine then gives more indication of the process. And then after this, and then the last sentence it says finally. So these are words that can be used to help indicate the process. Did that make sense to you? So what do you think? Does that help you prepare for writing IELTS Task 1 even better? I hope so. Take a look at it again in your own time and try to write an example process Task 1 using a different diagram. Practice will help a lot. Also remember that mindset is so important when you go into an IELTS test. If you go in afraid, it will affect how well you perform. So prepare yourself with confidence and go in with a positive mindset. I'm so glad you watched today. If you would like this video, share it with your friends and subscribe to this channel. That would be great. This way I can help more and more students around the world reach their dreams by succeeding with IELTS. Thanks so much. Do you have questions about other parts of the IELTS test? There are other videos that help you with listening, reading, and speaking. And if you have questions or comments, please leave them below. I look forward to them. Thanks so much for watching.